Here are 7 money lessons that they never taught you in school, but should have. Number 1, go wide, not deep. Back in the day, it was more acceptable to be a specialist, somebody who understood 1 or 2 specific sets of skills and could do that all day long at their job. Nowadays, though, things are a lot different. It's better to be more of a generalist, how you can understand more aspects of a business and be able to talk with the different people throughout the business and understand the inputs that you're providing and how they're impacting the other teams. For example, if you're working in marketing, how is that impacting finance, legal, accounting, HR, all of the different components of a business? It's good to understand how it works holistically. So I guarantee you, if you focus on understanding more of a holistic view of a business, you're going to make more money, you're going to be more valuable, which in turn will allow you to make your own path, choose your own path, whether that's starting your own business and understanding all the different facets of a business versus just being a specialist and somebody who's really only good at one thing. Number 2, asymmetric versus linear thinking. Linear thinking is really easy for most of us to understand because it's how we were trained. It's how most of us started working. Let's say you were making $20 an hour at a job. If you work 4 hours, you make $80. If you want to work another hour, that's another $20. Really easy for us to understand how much we'll make based off of how many hours we work. Also really easy for the business because they know if you work X number of hours, they're going to have to pay you X dollars. Asymmetric thinking is really powerful. And this is something where, as a business owner, as somebody who has a side hustle or has something that is ability to earn above and beyond what the input is requiring. So for example, if you were to start a YouTube channel and you were to invest X number of hours into creating videos, selling, being an affiliate marketer, selling different courses, those kind of things, that money that you can potentially make is a multiple of what the hours that you put in. It may not happen right away. It may not be a 1-to-1 right away, but eventually you'll be able to get to a point where your input has a multiple of return on the back end. And this is exponential thinking. It's asymmetric, meaning it's not a 1-to-1 linear relationship. And this is where in school, I would hope that most people would learn that there's a potential to earn a lot more based off of your input. And the best way to do this is in sales. If you're working for a company, look at sales. This has the ability to earn multiples of the input that you put in. If you work for yourself or if you have a side hustle, you can see this potential growing out in the future a lot quicker than you could if you were to get a 5% raise every year working for a company. Number 3, experience trumps certificates. Let me tell you a quick story. Back in college in the 2000 era, this was the dot-com bubble. I was studying for computer information systems. And back then, this certificate called the MCSE was one of the most highly coveted certificates that you could get to prove that you knew what you were talking about. This was Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer that covered all things from setting up servers and networking and database management, all of this stuff. And I wanted to get this because I knew that this would be my guaranteed into a great job. So I went through all of it, paid all the thousands of dollars, got my certificate, passed the test. I felt really good. And then go to get a job and come to find out that actual experience trumps having a certificate. They were looking for people who had 5 years of experience in networking and server management, setting up these systems, and I didn't have that. So just understand that it takes time to develop experience. There's no certificate and no school, a degree will trump actual experience in doing the job and actually physically learning and going through those pains, the trials and errors, the problems, and solving the issues as they come up and learning what worked, what didn't. Number 4, tax law is not designed to benefit the employee, but to benefit the business or the investor. Tom Wheelwright is a CPA and a tax advisor for a lot of wealthy people. He was quoted in saying, "In many ways, utilizing the tax code to the fullest to save as much money in taxes as possible is one of the most patriotic things you can do." What you have to understand, specifically in the United States, is the tax code is written for the business owners to invest money in hiring employees, buying equipment, supplies, land, all in the attempt to grow the economy. And the United States is the best in the world at doing just that. For most people, they don't understand that being an employee, their tax rate is actually higher than most business owners who are multimillionaires or even billionaires. And why is that? Well, the tax code's written specifically for them. About 80 or 90% of the hundreds of pages in this tax code are written specifically to incentivize business owners or investors in doing just that, growing the economy. So understanding the tax code, understanding the advantages of starting a business, even a side hustle like a YouTube channel, this equipment, the lighting, the camera, even that wakeboard with the neon behind it, all of those things are part of this set and allow me to write expenses and deduct them from my overall income. And that's something you can't do as an employee. And it's an incentive for me to do it because I'm growing, I'm investing in businesses by paying for equipment. I might be hiring freelancers to help edit the videos or marketing, whatever it might be. You have to understand that in school, they don't teach us this. They teach us, go get a job. They'll pay you, you'll pay your taxes. You might get a refund at the end of the year, but technically if you get a refund, you've actually overpaid the government and they're not paying you back in interest, trust me. So understand that there's a lot more to the tax code and the benefits to owning a business, to having the ability of investing, whether it's in real estate. There's a lot of advantages for actually investing and trying to grow the economy. And that's why the tax code is so important for growth of the United States. Number 5, your home is not your biggest asset. A lot of people think their home is their largest asset. Even if monetarily, currently speaking, let's say you've got a couple $100,000 in equity in your home, they think that's their biggest asset or their biggest investment. And technically it's not. It's you. It's your ability to earn money. Now, if you go and work for somebody else and they predetermine how much you're going to get paid, let's say it's $100,000 a year. Well, that's how much you're able to earn there. But if you're able to increase your skills, maybe you take the risk of going and starting your own side hustle, starting your own business, the exponential ability for you to earn more money is there. And that is your greatest asset. Another money lesson that they don't teach us in school, and it's a bit controversial, is you're responsible for your financial mistakes. Even if there's somebody who's doing something illegal, you're probably complicit in this mistake, and you need to own up to it. What I mean by this is, let's take, for example, Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff was running one of the largest Ponzi schemes ever known to man. Hundreds of millions of dollars, and a lot of people lost their complete investments, their retirement savings, everything. And I feel for them. But understand that during this whole time period, the 10, 20 years that he was running this Ponzi scheme, he was returning about 18% every year, within 1% variation every year. It's statistically impossible. And a lot of people were starting to raise their hand and say, hey, this doesn't look right. But other people, the people who were investing their money and wanting to get into this fund, they were looking the other way, saying, well, he's trusted by the government because he was, helping manage this. And these politicians, they believe in him. The politicians in the government were turning a blind eye. If you watch the documentary on Netflix, it's really eye-opening. But understand that while you're investing your money and you see this return every year, 18% compounded every year, making, on paper, a lot of money. But when you look at it and you take a step back and say, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. Another example is the Income Store. This was a small operation that I almost invested in and I almost recommended other people invest into as well. The Income Store was a business that basically had content websites that you could purchase, and they would develop the content. They would basically split the profits 50-50 or so with you and them. They would create the content. They would set up all of the affiliate marketing or the ads or whatever it was that was generating the income from the websites. So you would invest your money. Generally, it was 6 figures or more minimum to get into it. And then they would guarantee a rate of return, ironically, around 18%. I don't know what it is with 18% in Ponzi schemes, but that's what it was. I saw this gentleman who owned the Income Store, Ken Courtright, I believe his name is. He's in prison now. And I saw him speak at this conference, and there was a lot of very smart entrepreneurial people, very wealthy people that were also interested in this opportunity. There was a lot of tax advantages to investing in a business like this. There was a lot of opportunity to diversify their income. But there was actually a guarantee on the website that if you didn't make close to 18, 20%, that they would replace the website with another website that had those returns coming in. A little too good to be true. And I know there's one specific person that was hosting the event that he was speaking at, that he invested in a website and lost all of his money. And even he will admit that he made a mistake. He should have looked at it deeper and didn't. So just understand that your mistakes that you make are your responsibility. Even if there's somebody else, even if it's a student loan and somebody's promising you to that you're going to get a six-figure job after you graduate, after spending six figures in student loan or tuition, you kind of have to look at it and say, was I complicit in this at all? And yes, you were. Another money lesson they don't teach us in school is you don't have to win a lot to earn a lot. What I mean by this is, let's take the analogy of sports. Look at Phil Mickelson. If you're familiar with the golf PGA Tour, Phil Mickelson, lefty, he's one of the most likable characters and the most marketable characters. He doesn't win everything. In fact, he's had a really successful career, but he never was world number one like Tiger Woods or Vijay Singh. But yet he's out-earned Vijay Singh by hundreds of millions of dollars. Phil Mickelson, over his course of his career, has earned over $800 million, of which about $50 million is in career winnings, meaning what he takes home from winning a tournament or placing in a tournament. So $50 million of $800 million, it's about 6-7%. The other amount is endorsements. Because Phil is so likable and so marketable, he's able to demand high money, high income from these sponsors and these endorsements, equating to over $750 million over the course of his career. And he was just able to sign with Live Golf, I think, for over $200 million to basically join their tour. It had nothing to do with winning. It just 100% had to do with his charisma, his pull, his ability for people to want to follow him. Now you take Vijay Singh, which is another very successful golfer over the years. Most people have no idea who Vijay Singh is unless you follow golf. Vijay was world number one during Tiger Woods' era. And this was something that Phil Mickelson was never able to accomplish, the world number one position, and especially during Tiger Woods' era. So Vijay Singh earned a lot of money, probably more than Phil. I don't have the exact numbers, but I think Vijay actually won more money, career earnings from tournaments, but his endorsements were not anything compared to Phil. A lot of it had to do with the fact that he said some things about women playing in the men's game, I think during Annika Sorenstam's play, which didn't help him earn endorsements. In fact, I'm sure he lost a few during that time period. So what I'm getting at is, you don't have to be the best and to win every tournament or to be the best business or the best YouTuber if you're likable, if you're marketable. Companies will want to work with you. And so just understand that don't be a jerk is what it comes down to. Don't be somebody who's abrasive, because you'll be able to make a lot of money by just being kind and just being real with people. Look at Ricky Fowler, another person in golf that makes a lot of money from endorsements, but doesn't win a lot of tournaments. If you're familiar with Formula One, you've got Daniel Ricciardo. If you watch the documentary on Netflix, which I'm sure most people have, it's really entertaining, but Daniel Ricciardo doesn't win a lot of tournaments or a lot of races, but he's one of the most affable, most likable characters in all of F1. The gentleman at the top, Max Verstappen, or Lewis Hamilton. These guys are equatable to almost Tiger Woods, where they're so intense and so focused on winning that, yes, they're getting endorsements because of their track record, but the people like Daniel Ricciardo have made millions of dollars just because they're marketable, they're likable. Now, I know I said there were 7 money lessons, but I want to give you a bonus one just because you deserve it. There's something that they're not teaching in school, and parents should be teaching this. Maybe you should be teaching this to your kids. You can do anything in life if you put your mind to it. I know it sounds corny, ironic, but you really can do anything. You can learn any new skill. You can attempt any new business. You have that option. Now, there might be some people that are more inclined to succeed. Maybe it's LeBron James, which I don't like. I don't know why I brought up his name. He's one of the most, recognizable characters, but he's big guy, tall, strong. He was, from a young age, was designed to be a basketball player. Maybe you don't have those genetics and you wanted to play basketball, but, you're like, oh, I can't compete. Okay, fine, but maybe you can be a part of the NBA. Maybe you can be a part of that business. Maybe you can start a side business selling, licensed NBA gear. There's a lot of things you can do. And I don't think schools open up our mind, our ability to do what we want to do and become whatever we want. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching the video. Hit subscribe. If you haven't already, I don't know why you wouldn't have already hit that button. It's just down below there. If you enjoy this content, also the like button helps, spread the word that I've got something good to say. So I hope you have a great day. And this video is definitely one you want to watch next. YouTube thinks that you like it.